Why is it really better to be single? Today we're going to discuss why you should not trust any woman blindly. I'll share my personal experience that I have gained over the years dating women. Well, not only that, I will share what I have learned from my friends, especially their divorces and breakups. I included a bonus lesson for everyone who decides to watch this video until the end. You'll learn how to minimize your losses and maximize your gains. Guys, I know this is a very difficult subject. A lot of emotion goes into it, and people have mixed opinions when it comes to getting married, when it comes to breaking up. So I want to make something clear before we get started, which is that I'm just going to share my personal experience. This is my opinion, this is my perspective. You do not need to follow what I'm about to share with you. And for those of you who have had problems with women, relationships in the past, some of the things that we're about to discuss probably will resonate. And in case something's a little bit too harsh, just let me know in the comments below. All right, let's start out with my personal experience dating women. Generally speaking, women are all the same. Women need a lot of attention. So if you are someone building a business, or if you are someone who has already a successful business, you need to understand that each and every woman that you date, they'll take time away from your business. Women need a lot of attention, a lot more than we may be able to give them. So if you are very occupied building a business, if you want to build an empire, if you want to create security, build multiple income streams, it's in your own best interest to find someone who will support your goals, who will not stand between you and success. And the reason why I'm saying this is because it is very difficult to find a woman that will actually respect your business, your time, and it's really important that they respect you for who you are. She needs to respect you. So if you're dating someone, in the process of dating, it is really important for you to make it clear that your business is your top priority. And why is your business your top priority? Because if you cannot make money because you're spending less time building your business, you will naturally not have time and money to spend on your girlfriend. Now, you don't have to tell her that you will not have money to spend on her, but tell her that this is who I am, this is what I stand for, and she needs to respect that. However, if she doesn't respect it, and a lot of women won't respect it because they don't have the understanding what it takes to build a business. That is going to happen most of the time. And I can tell you this from personal experience. Like 9 out of 10 women that you meet will not be a good fit. Just the way it is. You know, they're coming from a different background, they have different priorities, they have different aspirations and different habits. So if you meet someone that's the opposite of you, either you need to adjust to get closer to her habits, to her standards, or she needs to adjust to get closer to yours. It's not how relationships should work. The way it should work is that you meet someone of equal qualities, with communality, someone who respects you, someone who is not going to keep calling like crazy because they want to go out with you. So this is crucial. Yes, it's difficult to find a woman who is really worth your time. Most women, most people in general are time wasters. Like if you spend all this time and energy and you put your heart, your soul, your money into building your business, and you meet someone that just wants to take, you meet a taker. It's not worth it. She's not worth it. If she's not a giver, if she can't give good value, like if she's not a valuable person, then you're going to end up throwing all your value onto her, okay, and she's going to take it. If you have more value than your partner, guess what's going to happen? You will diminish over time, and the other person will gain. That is just the law of nature. It's how it works. So have a close look. Make sure that you're actually dating a giver, not a taker. And if all she's focused on is you spending money on her, and if all she wants is you going out with her, a good woman is a woman that will not only accept who you are, accept your business and your time commitment to your business, but a good woman is a woman who wants you to invest money, who wants you to succeed. A bad woman is a woman who just wants to take your money, spend it on her, or just convince you that you should do things other than work so she can have fun. And this is no bueno. This is no good. And a lot of people go for this cycle. You know, they're dating, they're meeting a woman, and they are getting burned so bad that they never want to get into a relationship again. And I've seen this happening all over the place. I've seen this happening to personal friends of mine. For instance, some friends had a lot of relationships in their 20s, and if you hear the stories, those women weren't even worth it. You know, and now they're at the point they're in their 30s and they're like, okay, I don't want to date anymore because I got burned so many times and I failed to meet the right woman in the past, and I'm scared that I will repeat this cycle all over again. As a rule of thumb, it's difficult to meet somebody new and trust them because there's no background. It's not like you were born in a village, okay, and the girl you're dating, you went to kindergarten with, you know her family and she knows your family, and you have known each other for decades. It's a whole other foundation if that is the case, but this is rare. Most people, most entrepreneurs, they are like water. They move around. So you probably don't live in the city you were born. In fact, you may live in a different country or even in a different continent. And if that's the case, it's going to be very difficult to find somebody who will not exploit you because they know they don't have much to lose. You know, they don't have to honor your family or their family. There's a lot of women that are just rotating guys in and out. And no doubt, that's the case with us as well, with us guys, right? Beware of gold diggers. You will immediately know because gold diggers oftentimes don't have a lot of patience. So if a woman asks you to spend money on her without having seen you, and that's why online dating is no bueno anyway, even if you met her offline and all she's focused on is what value you can give to her, how much you can spend on her. If that's what she wants from you to prove how much you care for her, how much you love her, if that's her perception of love, then get out immediately. Because if you say yes once, you will say yes many more times to come and you will lose a shitload of money. Find someone with good conservative values, someone who wants to spend quality time with you, someone who wants to go with you to yoga class, someone who enjoys jogging, someone who enjoys playing chess, someone who enjoys building a business with you together. Just find someone valuable. And if you're working, she's totally okay with it. She actually wants you to work more because she knows that this will create a better future for not only you, but also for her and also potentially her family in the future if you decide to build one. Relationships are very difficult these days. And I'm not saying this lightly. I mean, have a look. There's a lot of things that can go wrong. Now, I'm not trying to be negative here. I'm trying to be realistic. Like, marriage is no guarantee. It really isn't. If you take a look at divorce rates, and we will talk about this in just a moment, people change over time. You change over time. Women change over time, right? So it's really important that you wait with marriage or a serious commitment until you're really fully matured so you kind of know what you want for the long term. But even knowing what you want for the long term may actually change in a couple years' time. Because if you look back 5 to 10 years ago, things that were important to you back then may not be important to you right now. And things that are important to you right now may not be important to you 10 years from now. We don't know how we will change in the future. It is difficult to predict. If we move to a new environment, we may change. A change in business will change us. A change in friends, if we make new friends, could easily influence us. Again, the point is not to get influenced. The point is to really become more mature and know what you want before you commit. One of the things that I have learned from dating women over the years, from my personal experience and also a lot of my guy friends, is that women can change their standards very quickly. And how they change their standards is by either adjusting to what you can give them, okay? If they see, if they're coming from a very low level and they're dating an entrepreneur guy or a wealthy guy, whatever, it doesn't matter, but they will adjust their standards quickly, even if they come from a poor background. Another way for women to change their standards, which happened many times, is when they make new friends. Okay, they meet new people, and all of a sudden, you know what? She comes home and she's telling about how they went out for coffee and it was a meetup, whatever, and she met this new girl and she has that husband, and her husband is taking very good care of her. She is telling you how her friend went on an expensive vacation, how her husband bought a car for her, all this kind of crap. It really is crap, because what's happening is a brain transformation. And that's how some women are, not all of them, okay, some of them, they get influenced. With them making new friends, they see there's more possibilities on how to live life. And that can come back and bite you in the hiney. Now, if she starts telling you how happy her friend is because her husband spends so much time with her, you know, he takes her out on nice dinners and they spend a lot of money going on vacation and all this kind of stuff. Well, if she starts comparing this, you're on a very dangerous track. And the best thing you can usually recommend to not meet that person, but it's really up to her. You can't change a person. But this has happened to a lot of people that I personally know. And when someone gets influenced, it's like you turn on TV, okay? And you have a certain mindset, you have a certain belief about something, and you turn on TV and like 24/7, you hear the exact opposite, you start believing it. You will start seeing it as a new reality. And the same happens when we meet new people. New people give us new information, and it may change our beliefs about who we are and what we value and everything else. Next, I want to talk about divorce rates a little bit, and that's why you should be very careful marrying a person. And here's the cold hard data. I didn't make this data up. This data is publicly available on the internet. You can pull it up yourself, and it looks pretty frightening, but let's have a look at it. Divorce rates. Portugal, 61.5%. So out of 100 marriages, 61 get divorced. And that's a lot. Doesn't mean that the other 39 are happy, right? Maybe another 20 are unhappy and they're still staying together because maybe they can't afford a divorce, or maybe they're not emotionally capable of divorcing each other. The 46% in the US looks definitely low, but there's also common law partners, you know. So a lot of people live like that these days because it's cheaper. You know, you can just split up more easily, and there's less legal costs involved, I guess. So that number in the US is definitely higher, and then considering all the couples that are separated and not happy. Now, I'm not saying that there's no people that are not married happily. In fact, there's many people who are married and happy, but there's also many that are divorced or that are married, unhappy, and stay together. Luxembourg, 88%. Why do you even get married? You know, out of 100 marriages, 88 get divorced. Doesn't make any sense. Probably because of money, or because of formality reasons people get married, or because of inheritance, whatever, I don't know. Spain, 65%, frightening high. Terrible rate, actually. Out of 165 people get divorced. And here is actually something that may throw you off the chair right now, but I'm going to say it anyway. Christian divorce rates are the highest of all religions. So if you're a Christian and you marry a Christian woman, your chances of getting divorced are much greater than if Hindu marries Hindu. That only has a 1% divorce rate at the moment. Marrying in the West is a difficult subject. And yeah, right now divorce rates are actually dropping in many countries, but it's not because marriages are getting better. No, it's because fewer people get married. Another very important point that I wanted to talk with you about that is directly associated with getting married, something you really need to be aware of because it can burn you a lot, it can cost you a lot of money, is when you get divorced, what will happen to your children? As a man, in most cases, most countries, you will not get custody over your children. And following this consequence, you will be paying child support for many years to come. So depending on where you live, this could be very, very expensive. In some countries, child support payment is 20 to 27% of your salary. If you earn $10,000 a month, $2,000 to $2,700 goes straight to child support. And that's if you only have one child. Now, for each additional child, it may be another 2 to 5%. This is a really big decision. To have children with someone is one of the most important decisions you will ever make. And many people get it wrong because they jump in too quickly, they're emotional, they have sex, and things can get ugly if you have kids with the wrong person. That person may take advantage of you, and it's going to cost you a lot of money. You know, it can cost you as much as $500,000 in the US. That's how expensive it can be. And to make matters even worse, you will not see your kids that often. I mean, you still get like partial custody, you know. You'll be able to see your kids depending on the relationship you have with the mother. If the relationship is good, you will definitely have more time with your kids. But if the relationship is bad, you will have less time with your kids, but you're still paying the same. But the worst part of it, really, if you get divorced and your kids don't live with you and your ex-wife, your kids will get influenced by her new guy. And that's something that is hard to take for a lot of men, because at the end of the day, we want to raise our own children. You know, we don't want some other dude to come in and raise our children. And then, of course, we don't know if we can trust that person. So this is a big, big decision. And you can see here, just based on how much you will pay, should you divorce your wife and lose your children. It's going to be expensive. I wanted to talk briefly about an experience that a friend of mine had, which is one of the worst experiences you can have. And he's a very nice guy. He's very forthcoming, an excellent friend. He is one of the best friends that I have. He got married to a woman, and just by seeing how he treats his friends and his parents, you can tell that he's a good guy. If you want to take a look and you want to know if a guy is worth marrying, if you're a woman, you want to take a look at how the guy treats his mother. That is going to be living proof of how he will treat you. And my friend, he really treated his parents, his friends, his kids like gold. And anyway, he is a business owner. And what do business owners do? They work a lot. And it's really important that you find someone who respects your work. And he was unfortunate with that. He married a woman and she did not understand, accept, nor respect his work. She was not working. She never worked when they were married. Never. He brought home the dough, he made the money, and he worked long hours, hard hours at his business so he can provide for him, his wife, and his children. And life in Australia is not cheap. It got to a point when his wife complained so much about him not having time for her and her family. But what she did not understand is that someone needs to earn the money. If only one person works, that person needs to earn for two. He needs to pull in more money, and she did not understand that. Even though I know that he still managed to make time for the family. You know, maybe not as much as other guys, but still he made time for the family. But this was a major complaint, and there were other complaints too. He ended up divorcing her, and he ended up moving out of the house, and he let the wife and the kids stay in the marital home. Okay, because he's a nice guy, he's a good, genuine guy, okay? He just wanted the best for his kids. No, probably didn't care too much about his wife anymore at that point, but still he wanted to have a good foundation, you know, a good place, a real home for the kids. So it's like, you know what, I just let them stay at the home. And then he moved out, he rented the place. And you know what his wife did? His wife, in distrust, sold the home and then rented the home from the person she sold it to. What a stupid decision. And now she's almost out of money. Now the problem is that she did it because she didn't trust him. But he did everything he could and more than he should have. Much more than he should have, but his ex-wife just made a stupid mistake, completely stupid. Should have just stayed in a home and not sold it. Anyway, this is a major mistake, and he knows he definitely made a mistake there. He should have just split everything equally before he left. But because he's a good guy, he gave everything to her, but you can see what happens when you give money to someone who does not know how to manage it, does not know how to create it, does not appreciate it, and failed at everything. So it's not always men that get things wrong. No, it's women a lot of the time too, a lot of the time. All right, now that we have discussed all of this, let's have a look at some practical solutions here, because I really do believe that there's still room for someone who wants to get married, right? But things have gotten more difficult. You have to consider a lot more things can go wrong. So you have to be really thoughtful. You have to be strategic about everything. Now, if you want to get married in the West, you can still do that. You can still have success. I'm not saying you cannot have success. In fact, you can. However, what you need to do is find someone appreciative, someone respectful of who you are, of your work, and find someone of modest means, someone conservative. If you want to have someone loyal, don't marry a woman that slept with 20 or 30 guys. You know, that's no bueno. It's already bad when we men do it, when we had too many partners. But I know that most men, if they see a woman and she had a lot of sexual partners, it is as unattractive as can be. So make sure she is conservative. Make sure she is of modest means. That's really, really important. Make sure you get to know her family. Make sure you know everything about her. Make sure that she's the kind of person that's not going to throw you under the bus, even though that's impossible to know. It's really impossible to know. There's so many unknown variables when it comes to marriage, but it's like taking precautions. You know, like you're building a business, so what do? You do market research. You analyze your competition. You try to come up with a business plan to make sure that it's worth pursuing your idea. And you want to make sure you can get enough market share to make your business profitable, right? And you do the same when marrying a woman. It's exactly the same. It pretty much is a business transaction at this point. Real love does not exist in most marriages. It's mostly about what you can get from another person. Women are all about security, and men are all about finding someone who just can give them what they want to, which is usually family. But when men get married, they're not that picky anymore. They just want to have a simple woman that's a good woman that can stay at home, take care of this and that, and that's usually a man. Now, women, they always want better, you know, especially when they meet new friends and they see, you know what, yeah, she can have a better guy. And then they think like, I'm much better than my friend, so why can't I have a better guy? And whatever better means in their perception, they will go and try to find that. You can get married in the West, but really do your research well. Do not date through dating apps. Don't. Most women on dating apps are completely spoiled. Again, I say most, not all. But if you want to date, go do yoga. Or go play billiard, through sport, through something, through like networking, whatever. You know, just something where you can meet an intelligent woman, not a brick. Another option is to not get married in the West. You can be common law partners. It's very much the same responsibilities, but it's less of a financial commitment when it comes to the upfront costs involved when getting married. Another thing, is to not get married at all. Just stay boyfriend and girlfriend. You don't need to spend money on the stupid wedding, the wedding ring, the divorce proceedings. And another great option, which a lot more men are pursuing than ever, is to marry someone from abroad. By dating and later on marrying someone from like Southeast Asia, Eastern Europe, Latin America, or even Africa, you don't really find that many women that are pumped up by feminism. And a lot of them are very respectful towards foreigners because that's what they're taught. They're taught that being respectful to foreigners is important, you know, and if they come from modest means, they are much more resilient, receptive towards listening, towards adapting. And they don't have this I don't need to listen to you, I'm better than you attitude that a lot of Western women have. Should you decide to date and later on marry someone from Southeast Asia, Eastern Europe, Africa, Latin America, doesn't matter, I highly recommend to not bring her to the West, because if you bring that woman to the West, she may adjust to Western standards, beliefs. So it's a lot better for you to live with her in her country. That is really, really important, because I have friends who got married in Southeast Asia, had a Southeast Asian wife, and brought her to the West. And as soon as it happened, a woman changed, completely changed. Like the magical transformation happened very quickly. They raised their standards, they adjusted, they understood about the laws and privileges they have when living in the West. One of the main problems with getting married and living in the West with a wife, doesn't matter where she's from, is that you don't get equal rights. You really don't. because you don't get custody of your children. You will pay the child support. You lose your marital home. You will not have this issue when you marry someone from Latin America, Southeast Asia, Africa, and possibly also Eastern Europe. What's your experience dating and being married? Are you currently married in the West, Latin America, Asia, Europe, doesn't matter? If so, what is your experience? What do you think about the feminism situation in the West? Do you think it's out of control, or do you think that men have equal rights? Leave a comment below and let us know. I got 2 recommendations for you. 1, this is the video you want to watch right now. I shot a video on the best countries for single guys. This is a continuation from this video. We'll give you a lot of really good locations. So if you want to watch this video, then click on the link right here. 2, I shot another video on the cheapest and safest countries to live in the world. If you want to watch this video, click on the link that appears right here. Make sure to subscribe and turn on alerts to receive a notification when I upload the next video on digital nomad locations, travel updates, and visas. Thank you for watching.